Good evening, people, my brothers and sisters. So this is part 10 of Who Am I? So we left off where 2005 come around. I just experienced so far in my life, I think it was about 32 or 34, something like that. Anyways, from that point to that point, it was just nightmare. In and out of institutions, death, all kinds of different violence, and all activity in bad situations for bad decisions and bad desires. No God following at all. No kind of healthy way of thinking or processing things or understanding how to be a man really at this point still. But so I entered DACO for this is like the third or fourth time I think it was finally. I just had this point where I was just like, man, tired of going to jail, tired of, living like I was living. And I just knew there was like, it was so empty. My insides were so empty. And I always said it's like a God-sized hole that only God can fill. And it sure definitely is. Today, I understand that beyond anything I never understood before. I do understand all the way today. So 2005, I entered DACO. For the third or fourth time, I believe it's the fourth time, and this time I go for the real reasons. So I follow all the instructions. You know what I mean? I do phase one. There's 6 phases. 6 phases you phase out. 1 and 2. You just stay in the house, start going to meetings, whatever, and then you get in the routine of stuff. So we started working out, getting into shape a little bit. And then all my friends from the streets were there, so it was kind of cool in a way, you know what I mean? And we all got clean at the same time. My friend Hannibal, they called him Hannibal on the streets, and my friend Bobby, and my friend Casey, and man, we had so many people in that place. It was like the whole crew from the Crankster Gangsters days before ICE was even around. But anyways, so we all stayed for the most part. Everybody did what they had to do, and we all went through. And I graduated, and in the middle of that, I got in a relationship like they told you don't do, and I did anyways because I thought I knew everything. But I did have a good job. I had a good support network. I had a sponsor. I was going to a lot of meetings, and when I got out, I just did not stop that. You know what I mean? I stayed in the middle of the boat, and what I mean by that is, I went to meetings. I got with people that had time. I followed people that they worked the steps and applied them in their life. It was a beautiful thing to see people that were just like me at one time, and now they lived a whole entirely different life, and they didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Like, it was a blessing. So I wanted what they had, so I had to do what they did, and it was beautiful. 2005 to 2012 was a beautiful time in my life, and I really didn't cherish it or understand it. Like, God gave me the opportunity. But it's a spiritual program. Narcotics Anonymous is a beautiful program, just like AA, beautiful program. It always gets us on the right footing. But God's the only one that can do anything. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. If it's a blessing where it does for us and it gets us to a certain point, but it still doesn't steer us right to Jesus, and that's the ultimate one that can take care of everything. He's the only one that can wipe out the mental health and the addiction, the compulsive and obsession to do whatever it may be, to get whatever it may be, to get whatever it may be, to do whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? The insanity of doing the same thing over and over again, expect different results, but our insanity was doing the same thing over and over again, doing the A, B, and C. You do A and you do B, you're going to get C. That's how the alphabet goes, and that's just how insanity of our type did. We knew we did A and B, C was coming along, and that was the insanity of it. We knew the results, and we still did them, so I'm just going to close with this a little bit, and then I'll get back in a little more. I can only do about 5 minutes. That's the reason this is trying to be a little short every time, so I can get on all my platforms. This is about saving lives. This is about carrying the message of hope and promise that I know God can do anything for you as long as you allow him to, but we have to surrender everything. Listen, 8 to 54 years old, I struggled with mental health and addiction. Even when I was clean, I still struggled with the mental health stuff. I didn't really realize it until I relapsed and faced it. I faced in 2 months relapse, and I went from 285 all the way down to 100 and something pounds, and was facing life in prison after 2 months of relapsing. That's how quick it happens. That demon just comes right back, full strength. But anyways, we'll get back to that later. So anyways, God bless y'all. I hope this helps a little bit. This is about saving lives. This is not about steering somebody wrong or steering somebody in a different direction. I'm just trying to share my strength and hope and what is going on with me today and what happened. That being said, God bless y'all. May you have love, peace, and happiness in your life today. Most of all, Yahweh always. Until next time.